There is a huge change coming to YouTube, and I personally have very, very mixed feelings on it, but I want to say it's mostly positive. If you guys haven't seen it, let me bring you over to Dexterto over here. YouTube is reportedly testing a homepage layout without view counts and upload dates. We're going to talk about this. We're going to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. We're going to look through the Explore page, top replies. We're going to get a look on how people feel about this. And as always, I would love to know what you think about it down below afterwards, because it's a very, very interesting topic. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, like I just showed you, Dexterto posted this, and I'll show you the example over here because you can see the thumbnail, the title for the video, and just who it's by. It's a very, very weird change for YouTube, and the reaction to this has been overwhelmingly negative, but I do think that there are some really good things that come about it. Let me bring you to what people are saying about this, and we'll comment on it throughout. And again, I'd love to know what you guys think about this, okay? Why is there a trend now to make the timeline more minimalist? Bro, just leave all the necessary info and make it look good. I know that companies are now changing things just for the sake of change, and everything's trying to be more minimalist, especially because people nowadays, everybody's dopamine receptors are completely fried, and they just don't take the time to sit down and read anything. So it kind of makes sense for companies to get rid of more text on the screen than possible. But then again, that's not the entire reason for it, because my initial thought on this was, okay, you know what? That's really cool, because how many people on YouTube, and I'm guilty of this, you guys are guilty of this, the way that you kind of judge a video before you watch it is how many views it has. If there's a video sitting there with an okay title, with an interesting thumbnail, I will look and see, okay, that has millions of views. Obviously, it must be a good video. Taking away this opens the door for not so great content to get in, but it also opens up the door for an opportunity for more exposure from smaller creators, and we know that this is something that YouTube has been working really hard on. So again, there's a little bit of a mixed bag on what's going on. Let's continue on. Next update, we have hidden the thumbnails. The reason that I wanted to include this one over here is because that was actually something that YouTube was considering, not having thumbnails. And you know how when you scroll over a YouTube video, I'm going to open up an incognito window so none of my recommended comes over here. Not that there's anything bad, I just keep my stuff private. So I'm going to bring you over to the YouTube homepage over here, and I'm just going to go over into the trending, okay? This is the YouTube page, and if I were to hover over this video, it will begin playing. What YouTube was thinking about doing, and I don't know if they scrapped it or what, but there wouldn't be thumbnails. Every single video would start playing just like it is when you start hovering over these videos. I also think that's a really interesting change, because that kind of fights against the clickbait, the thumbnail battles everybody's making, because right now, if you're coming up in the YouTube space, thumbnail is probably the most important thing ever, because that's the gateway for people to come to your video. You could have the best video in the world, but if you have a thumbnail that nobody wants to click on, you're completely screwed. Doesn't matter how good your video is, right? So I kind of like the idea that we're eliminating that first and such important step, because there are so many great videos out there, but people can't get past the thumbnail barrier. So I actually don't mind the idea of having thumbnails hidden, but let's continue on over to Suarez and what he had to say. View counts, I kind of get, but dates, having more recent videos on the topic is really important a lot of the time. That's very, very important to me as well, and I want to read this reply over to it. Second, hiding view counts makes a lot of sense. That'll boost smaller creators. I'm cool with that, but dates are vitally important. If you're researching food safety or something, you don't want a video presenting the latest data from 2006. Hide views, keep the dates. I agree with this. I completely agree with this, even if you want to get into this, especially if it's for a tutorial for something. I like that. And what I hope that, and I would, if YouTube implements this, then I am completely for this whole change. Keep that new tag. You know, when you're scrolling through YouTube recommended and they have literally a tag that says new for a video that was uploaded within a week, if they keep that, and even let's say expand it to 2 weeks maybe, I would be 100% pro this change, because the recency for a lot of videos are very important to a lot of people, especially again, if you want something, the health one's perfectly important, right? If you want to look at something like that, because science is changing all the time. Technology is changing all the time. I don't want to watch an outdated Call of Duty video if I want to watch that. It can literally be about anything. So I think it's important to keep that tag. We just don't know if they are going to do that moving forward. View counts and dates matter in selecting between videos on the same topic. I get from a product perspective what they're trying to do, but this isn't better for viewers or creators. I don't know how much I agree with that. This isn't better for viewers or creators, but I don't know, view counts and dates matter in selecting between videos in the same topic. You know what I miss? The like to dislike ratio. I don't like that would have solved everything because you could get rid of all of that stuff. And if you have the like to dislike ratio, then you can gauge and you wouldn't have to go by YouTube's video views on whether or not a video is good. I still wholeheartedly believe the 5-star system on YouTube was the perfect way to go, not even just likes and dislikes. Now, there is something, and I was kind of trying to figure out where exactly to fit this into the video, and I'm just going to say it before we continue on with the tweets, okay? There is a theory going around, and I ask with all of my heart that you don't assume anything about myself because I keep all of this information about myself private, okay? I'm just saying because this is something that absolutely happens. You know that brand new Joe Rogan podcast that just came out and how many views it was getting so quickly as compared to the opposition? It's kind of a coincidence to me that all of a sudden we're hiding view counts now, okay? I'm not here to sit here and say whether like you agree or disagree with that. I'm keeping that private about myself, but you can't deny this is something that Google does. This is something that YouTube would absolutely be on board with, and you can't deny that there would be a giant push for this internally within all of these companies. Whether or not you agree with it, that is, it's not out of the realm of possibility one little bit for this to be the entire reason for that change, or even just the test for when next week is over, right? And it's like, you know what, the test didn't go that well, we're going to keep the view counts. That is a very, very strong possibility in my opinion. But let's continue on and assume that this is just a YouTube update, okay? People are more likely to click on videos with a high view count, often overlooking smaller channels. So I understand hiding the view count, but hiding the date seems a bit odd. A lot of content on YouTube is time sensitive, and knowing when a video is posted is crucial. I completely agree with this. And again, it would solve the high view count thing if we could see some sort of rating or a like to dislike ratio, or even just like let's say like a 96% upvote rate, you know, something along those lines. You need an extra metric if you're going to get rid of the view count in general. But I do like what that tweet had to say. SK Pac-Man had this to say: I don't like that. I want to see how old a video is. View count doesn't bother me, but if I'm looking for an up-to-date information on something, I don't want a 6-year-old video, you know? This is completely understandable. More of what we've been branching off of. And I actually posted this over on my account. Curious to hear people's thoughts on this. And if you're coming over from another channel, thank you very much for dropping your thoughts, everybody. I wanted to highlight 2 people in particular. If you guys want to follow me, it is at Clen YouTube over on Twitter. Been trying to use it a little bit more. I'm talking about gaming, talking about fighting, talking about just things that have been trending, okay? Straw Desert HD had this to say: there are some scam ads that flood the homepage consistently. The only telltale difference is that one has views and the scam does not. Without views or anything, it pushes a lack of understanding what you're about to click on. I don't really see this as beneficial. And as I replied, like, I didn't think of that personally, and that's definitely something that YouTube would have to be on the ball about, but would they be on the ball about it? I'm not so sure about it. That's definitely a very, very good argument, though, against this update, okay? But there was another tweet that I did want to highlight over here, and this is kind of my initial thoughts on this and my overall feelings on it. Jojo Josiah had this to say: I think a lot of people only watch YouTubers with hundreds of thousands of views. This change could be super good because it makes it entirely about the content. No date would also help evergreen content to get continually watched. Hannah had this to say in reply: this is exactly what I thought too. Instead of going for the popular vote, people are more incentivized to choose what actually piques their interest. I think this is the most important thing to come through this entire thing, and I think that out of every possibility and every kind of little, I don't know, thing that could come about with this, I think that this is the most important, and that's what I really, really like about it. Because again, we know that YouTube really, really wants to push their smaller creators, and YouTube, like, if you're a YouTuber, YouTube is your best friend. YouTube wants your videos out there, with the exception of some sort of things that YouTube deems to be inappropriate. Like, again, not here to have that conversation with you or not, but for the vast majority of people posting on the platform, YouTube wants to get your video out there, and this would certainly help with that. I think this is overall a very positive change, but as always, it's a very complicated topic, and I'd love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Thank you so much for being here and watching, guys. The YouTube updates don't have to stop there, though. If you're interested in another YouTube update that is coming, I would love for you to check out this video right here. I'll see you guys over in the next video. Take care, everybody.